Good afternoon, everybody. Today is day 27, I think. I'm not actually sure. The weather outside in Tenerife is very dull and cloudy, and I am really excited about that because I can't get out into the sun and I have to stick my head over the balcony to get a few rays of sun. And I believe in England it's nice and sunny, but please stay inside, don't go out. So today we're making chicken ham and leek pie. Marco was going to do it, but he's better on the camera because it's getting a bit complicated, the filming at the moment. Keeping myself occupied apart from this, I've been doing exercise. Now, I haven't actually gone any slimmer. I wish I had, but I haven't. But my body is toned up a bit more. Can't get rid of those thingy what's-its bingos there. I was thinking about doing a recipe with them to get rid of them. And the exercise I've been doing is a lady called Leslie Sansoni. Start off by doing the walk a mile from Leslie Sansoni, and then you go on to the 30-minute booster, which is a little bit of jogging. I've never done exercise like that since I've been here. The only exercise I do is swimming, which I can't do, and I'm actually quite enjoying it. It makes sure that I can eat a lot more. So that's why I'm not losing weight. I'm getting fitter, but I'm losing enough weight to be able to eat in the evenings nearly all evening. Thank you, and I'll carry on with my menu.
The main goal in the moment is actually not to gain weight. So if you stay the same, you're pretty good.
I know.
I mean, not you, everybody.
I know, but I'm getting sort of... I don't really know what I'm getting. When another few weeks have gone by, I'll just show you the whole of me. I don't mean without my clothes on, I mean dressed. Okay?
You still remember what we're talking about?
No, I've finished now.
Chicken ham and leek pie, guys.
Chicken ham and leek pie. I'm going to start off by making the pastry for the chicken ham and leek pie. And for that, I've got clean cold hands. I've got 400 grams of plain flour. You can use self-raising flour. I use any flour that I've got. And 200 grams of margarine. And a sprinkling of salt. I'm going to rub this together like breadcrumbs, very, very lightly. I have shown you this before, but I'm just doing it again, just to go over it one more time. I have to stand on my tiptoes here because the surface is quite high.
If you use salted butter, you don't need any salt at all.
Yeah, that's right, you're right. I didn't use butter though, this is margarine.
Oh, margarine, but margarine is salt here as well.
Yeah. I'm going by what my mum did. My mum always put salt in pastry, but maybe you were absolutely right there, Marco. Never even
I made
thought about
about a ton of pastry and meanwhile.
Yes, you have. You were supposed to be making this, but he's the filming is getting a little bit technical with tripods and all sorts of things like that. So what he's trying to do now is balance the tripod so that you can actually see what I'm doing, but not look at me. Because at this moment in time, I have unwashed hair and no makeup on. Not that I put a lot of makeup on, but I've got none whatsoever. Because I feel a bit like not having anything on me today and not washing my hair. It's a bit naughty, really. You sure you can't see my face? I'm getting worried about this now. Marco?
No, you're 100%.
Right. Okay, this is coming into breadcrumbs. It doesn't have to be an exact science. It's all mixed in and it's fairly light, plenty of air into it. And very, very quickly I'm going to add the cold water. This is from the fridge. A little drop. Stir it round with the knife. Once you add the water, very little touching of the pastry, and don't add any more than you need to actually get it to come together. And you can see it's coming together now. Don't be tempted to add more until you've checked out, because this is very close now. You see, as you stir it round, it picks up all the loose bits. Tiny drop more. Probably that's enough. There's a fine line between adding too much water and not being able to get it to come together. And I think I've got it now. Right, if I feel that's enough, yeah, what I'm going to do now is very quickly push it together. You should do it in 3 moves, 4 at the most. Don't knead it. There, okay? That is then going to go into the fridge for half an hour, and that's enough pastry to make that, which has been wiped over with margarine and then a sprinkling of flour so it doesn't stick. Now we'll go over to the cooker and do the filling. Now we're going to make the filling for the pie. In the pan I have a little bit of butter because I need that to make the roux, and some bacon bits. I've not used a whole lot of this half, there's still some left. I think you can get these in the UK as well as here. You will know about these bacon bits. To that I've added half of a big leek. And first of all I fried off the bacon until I couldn't see any fatty bits on it till they started to dissolve. And then I put the leek in. Now I'm adding the chicken. These are offcuts of chicken breast. It's all chicken breast. You can use chicken thighs. Chicken thighs make really nice pie, but this is what I had actually in the freezer. Donated by a restaurant in the village. Now I'm going to seal this and add some seasoning. I'm not putting salt in at this stage for the obvious reason that the bacon is salty. I will put some white pepper in. And then a little bit of my usual Maggi or Liam parings, which I tend to put in practically everything. And this is a little bit of jellified chicken stock that was left over in my fridge from roasting the chicken. We tend to have a lot of chicken in this house rather than red meat. We eat fish, vegetarian and chicken. I've yet to do some vegetarian things. I will do next week. Well, hopefully Marco will. Sorry about that. Yeah. So this is sealing nicely, and then I'm going to add a spoonful of flour. What I'm actually doing with this now is making a roux, but with the chicken, the leek and the bacon already in the pan. And there is enough fatty bits in this from the bacon and from the butter I put in to make a roux. I would say to you at home, seal it a little bit more, but for the sake of timing I'm going to do it now. 1 spoonful like that of flour. Stir
Never forget, the whole pie will go into the oven, so the chicken will cook more.
Yes, it will.
If you overdo it in the pan, as my experience, it's getting tough.
You're right.
So you don't have to do it too much in the pan because, like I said, it's another 20 minutes probably in the oven then.
Right, okay, now Marco, I've put the milk in. You're absolutely right about that. As soon as this starts to thicken, I'm going to take it off the heat for exactly the reason that Marco just said. Bring that up to the boil and this will start to thicken. I've actually turned the heat off now because, as you can see, it's quite thick. I don't want this to be too runny because it is a pie filling, not a sauce. Now that should be seasoned correctly, but I will check the seasoning to make sure it has got enough in. Yes, that's absolutely fine. It doesn't need any more. That's going off the heat now to cool. Never ever put a hot pie filling into the pastry. It'll make the pastry soggy. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to roll out the pastry. I hope it's cool enough. The base of the pastry in this needs more than the top. So there's the chunk of pastry. So I'm taking that much for the base.
Oh, it's a bit more than half of it, yeah.
Yeah, I think I haven't quite made enough, but it was all that was left in the container. Right, when you're rolling out pastry, just a small roll each side. Don't hurry it. You hurry it, it won't work. Make sure there's flour on the bottom, otherwise it will stick. And make sure there's flour on the rolling pin. Same will happen. Now with pies, I always like them to be as thin as possible. It's very easy to make a pie with thick pastry, but we're not eating thick pastry. We want it nice and thin. As I say, I'm not sure I've made enough because I had to use what was left.
Yeah.
So I might have to piece it together. I did explain when I made the pastry before that it doesn't matter, you can't actually see. Now that...
You can roll it a bit more.
Yeah, but the more you roll it, Marco, the more it starts to stick on the bottom. There. Okay. I'll just run the knife underneath, like that. The knife underneath, like that. Then pick it up with the rolling pin. There we go. Put this there. As I say, this is only just about the right size. So don't worry, it won't make any difference. There we are. Now, don't push it straight in. Lift it and let it drop into place. Lift it and let it drop in. All the way round. You only push when it's already dropped into place. There. Now, because this is got sharp edges, I can actually go like that with my hands to get it off. Otherwise, if it hasn't got these sharp edges, you just put your knife at an angle and cut it off. Push that all off. Now, as you see, we've got little bits of offcuts there. So if there's anything that needs filling in, let's fill it in. There, 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 and a little bit round here as well. So there we've got quite a nice pastry base. I'm not going to put the filling in until I've rolled out the top, because as soon as the filling goes in, you want it in the oven as quickly as possible. I'm putting it in 180 to 200 oven. Just keep your eye on it that it's not going to burn, but you want it to cook in a fairly hot oven, not cooking slowly. Also, I like to put it not on a solid metal base, so that there's metal on the bottom of here and metal underneath it. That cooks the bottom of the pastry. I'll just move that over to the side and roll out the top bit. More flour on there, more flour on there. And this is the top bit. Again, it's not a massive big piece. I probably would have made another 100 grams more of it if I wasn't just using. I tend to be at the moment just using what's around. I'm not going out to the shops and buying lots of ingredients because that's far too expensive. I'm going with what I've got. Haven't actually decided what's going to be cooked next. I will decide that tomorrow. out of the many things that I can do. Have you got any ideas, Marco?
Yeah, but I have to investigate first. Maybe some Mexican tortillas and some vegan food actually, and dips. A couple of different dips.
Oh,
And some Mexican tortilla with a filling. I'm not quite sure which one now, but I'm looking into it right now.
oh, quite a good idea, because people are actually asking for the vegan things now. Now this pastry is very thin. Again, I'm going to run the knife underneath it. I'm not scratching the surface, I'm not blunting the knife. I'm just making sure that it lifts up. It probably will fall apart a bit, but let's worry about that. We can piece it together. We're not in a pie competition for neat pie toppings, are we?
Well,
There we
otherwise,
are.
I would be in it.
Yeah, but you would have made a thicker pastry than me.
Not really.
Right, now the filling's going in, which has cooled down. Put it all in. Have your egg wash ready for the top, so again you're not wasting time before it goes in the oven. Spread that out, just the right amount of filling for the pie, not too much liquid. You want it to be juicy but not runny, the filling. There we are. Now we lift this up very carefully. Everything is careful, careful, careful. There we go. All these bits that are not even are going to be filled in. Not a problem. Push it down like that. Then we have the bit here, we'll fill it in. Bit there, we'll fill it in. Makes absolutely no difference to the taste in the end. There, because as I said before, and then just try and pinch it a little bit round the edges. It's not as easy to do. This is more of a quiche tin than a pie tin.
Oh, it's not right. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, but it's all I had,
I know.
because my pie tins are left behind in the restaurant that we had where we made pies for the other people. Pinch it a little bit like that. There, little hole for it, the air to come out. Brush it. This is a bit messy, but it actually has no bearing whatsoever on the flavour. And it's just showing that if you have leftover bits of pastry, it doesn't matter if it isn't quite enough, you can still cover. So we do this very quickly. This is the bit where you have to do it quickly because you don't want anything to go soggy. That's brushed all over now. Now that's going in the oven, which has been on. So it's quite a hot oven. Over here, on the metal base, number 180, in.
So on the end of this video, I just add a little time lapse that I made a couple of years ago in the pie factory of the rolling and putting on. It's a time lapse, a little bit funny, something to laugh about.
Okay.
Here we go. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So that is the result here, ladies and gentlemen.